Well, KALEN DEBOER hit the podium this week, I guess, on Thursday after a scrimmage. Fall camp getting underway for the Alabama Crimson Tide, and I just listened into it and, went online, found some notes on what he had to say, too, and kind of giving my thoughts on it. I guess A.K. Deere, E.J. Kroll, all the running backs have been doing pretty good, although A.K. Deere, who I believe was a freshman last year, is a sophomore this year, is dealing with some injury, but he should be back by the time we kick off our first game against East Carolina. If not, the latest is at least by that Florida State game. Their first three games, I believe, are East Carolina, at Kentucky, and then home against Florida State to close out that home-and-home series. He started out the presser by saying it was important to get players on the home field. They wore the game jerseys for Thursday's scrimmage. He thinks the offense could have been better, but it got better as the scrimmage went on. So it's not where it wants to be offensively or defensively. There's a long way to go. Obviously, any coach is going to say that. He says, as far as the quarterback battle between Austin Mack and KALEN Russell, which, yes, there's still one going on. I know a lot of fans thought KALEN looked the part on A-Day, and they think that he most likely will be the go-to guy. Austin Mack is just getting better and better and better, and I love to hear that even as a fan and an analyst. They could have been better early on, but they both got into a rhythm and got better as the scrimmage went along on Thursday. He said there's no notable injuries like in the scrimmage other than what E.J. Kroll, who missed the scrimmage, by the way, he's battling injury. A.K. Deere suffered an injury, which they're going to evaluate and see what it looks like. He said they had a good week with the offensive line. Run blocking's gotten better and better. Pass protection is really, really good. He does not feel close to naming a starting quarterback. He likes the offensive line. He likes the improvement there. The big thing, I think, for Alabama, just from my perspective, and really from a media standpoint, everyone wants to know who the quarterback's going to be because that's always a big deal. But, you look at that, and the fact that he's not really close to naming a starting quarterback, is it possible that Alabama has a two-quarterback system this year, kind of like what they had with Jalen and Tua, back in, 2018, after that 2nd and 26 natty? We're going back 8 years or whatever, but, could they use both quarterbacks all season long? Is there really going to be a starter? I think at some point we're going to have to name a starter, and I feel like the key game, even though I'm not a big believer in Florida State this year, maybe they improved to like 7-5 and flip last year's record, but I don't know if Mike Norvell's still going to make it out alive this year, personally, but we do host them. Alabama does. I say we. I know I'm a fan, but Alabama hosts Florida State week 3 in Bryant-Denny Stadium. Believe they've set that for a 3:30 kick like last year. Could be wrong on that game time, but is that really the game that we look at and say this is the game to prove yourself as a quarterback? I would say possibly. I'm not going to say no, and I'm not going to say absolutely. I think I'm more on the yes side, though, because it is a Power 4 opponent. You want to beat those teams. You also want to beat up on, like, Kentucky week 2, and I believe they're on the road in Lexington, so maybe that's a game to watch. They got a new coach and everything, so. But as far as the quarterback update, no one's been named a starter. I would not be shocked if we don't find out until the first offensive snap of the season for Alabama. He says about Javen James, I believe he's like a freshman or a sophomore. I don't really remember that name from last year. He says that offensive tackle has gotten more consistent throughout fall camp. So, really, the whole offensive line has just gotten really good and consistent. I think there's a lot of good guys there. I think there's a lot on defense. Ultimately, the big question everyone wants to know, and this was not necessarily asked at the presser this week, is Alabama built to win a championship here in year 3 under KALEN DEBOER? We need to see it on the field, obviously. I think we all know the pieces are there. The talent level at Alabama is too stacked to not at least compete for a natty. But ultimately, when you look at Alabama, having a young quarterback, having young running back, having some questions going into the season early on, you hope to get those answered by October when they play teams like Georgia or whoever, which, by the way, my wedding day is actually on the day of the Georgia game. You know, there's so much to learn. There's so much to take from fall camp for really any team. I'm just pumped up for the season, and I'm ready to go, man. I think these guys are ready to go. I believe that Alabama can win a natty this year. I'm not ready to bet anything on it yet. I need to see it to believe it. And I feel like I got to double-check their schedule. In fact, let me pull it up. I get the schedule pulled up, and East Carolina's our opener at noon. Kentucky on September 12th, 3:30 game. 3:30 game against Florida State at home. By the way, Kentucky, like I said, is on the road. And then we play South Carolina, and that is set, at least on ESPN, to be somewhere between 6 and 8 o'clock. A night game at Bryant-Denny. That might be the first one I actually get to catch fully. But, and then you get Mississippi State, and then Georgia, and then the third Saturday. Basically, you get into SEC play. So I would hope after the Florida State game we have an answer at quarterback and possibly even the starting running back. Here's the thing, is I love when teams like Alabama, Georgia, whoever, they have deep running back rooms, right? 9 times out of 10, they're contenders. And there's not a go-to starter at that position. I love that. I freaking love that. I love the 1-2 punch. Like, I don't think Alabama has had a set running back, like the one go-to guy. Shoot. I don't know. Derrick Henry, the Heisman year. I mean, after that, it was all like Josh Jacobs and Damian Harris. Najee Harris came in. You've had guys trying to double check and think of some of these other great running backs, man. I mean, there's been quite a few, but they've always had a go-to quarterback. They've always had the go-to wide receivers with Ruggs and Judy and Waddle and Smith and all that. But when's the last time they had a set-in-stone running back? Could they have that this year? I don't think there's going to be a guy set in stone as RB1. At least to start out the season. Maybe by October, maybe if someone separates themselves, maybe we'll talk about it. But let me know what you guys think down below about Alabama this season. Give me a record prediction. What are their losses? Strengths and weaknesses you think we'll see this year. Ultimately, I think I had picked them 10-2 in my preview earlier this year after the season ended for them. When we started doing team previews, which I guess we'll try to get a couple more before we kick off, but I don't know. I had them 10-2. I feel confident this team can make it back into the playoffs, but nothing would surprise me if they fell a little bit short because they do have a young quarterback room. They're going to have a young running back group. There's a couple different key pieces that they're going to have. Now, they do get guys back like Ryan Williams. Bernard is gone pro at wide receiver. You do have Latsier Brooks. You have a young guy. Maurice Mathis is a freshman. Derek Meadows is back. Cedarian Morgan is going to be a freshman. There's a lot of hype around him, kind of like there was Ryan Williams. The only difference is I don't think Cedarian's 17 years old. I think he's I think he's actually 18. I could be wrong, but Noah Rogers comes over from NC State. He's a senior from Raleigh, North Carolina, home of the Wolfpack. So, I mean, there's some transfers like that. There's a lot of young guys. There's experience. So, we'll see. But let me know what you guys think in the comments. I love y'all. Jesus loves you. Have a great Saturday. And I can't wait to kick off the season with you guys. Roll Tide.